What began as protests against immigration enforcement has spiraled into scenes that many on the ground describe as a war zone. Outside the Bishop Henry Whipple Federal Building in St. Paul, Minneapolis, tensions exploded as anti-ICE demonstrators confronted federal agents face to face. In one widely shared video, a protester is heard openly calling for violence against law enforcement, urging others to fight back and take up weapons, language that has shocked viewers and raised serious alarm.
Fight back!
As night fell, the situation escalated rapidly. Fireworks were launched toward ICE officers. Federal agents moved in formation, and chaos followed. According to eyewitnesses, protesters grabbed ammunition magazines that were accidentally dropped by an ICE agent, triggering an aggressive federal response to secure the area, recover the magazines, and make arrests. Tear gas, flashbangs, pepper balls, smoke bombs. Federal police unleashed a barrage of crowd control weapons, forcing protesters to scatter through downtown streets. AP video shows bystanders blowing whistles, chanting shame as agents in gas masks pushed through the crowd, deploying tear gas to break it apart. The flashpoint came just days after the fatal shooting of Renee Good, a 37-year-old mother of 3, by an ICE officer only blocks away. That death has ignited protests not only in Minneapolis, but across the country, from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. Authorities say the confrontation began when immigration agents struck a bystander's vehicle, drawing a growing crowd that quickly turned hostile. As federal vehicles attempted to leave, screams echoed through the streets. Meanwhile, ICE began fortifying the Whipple Federal Building, installing fencing, concrete barriers, and security perimeters under police protection. Protesters blocked vehicles, yelled at workers, and clashed with officers in full riot gear. Several demonstrators were detained, including a viral moment showing officers arresting a protester wearing a giraffe costume, as the crowd shouted, "Leave the giraffe alone!" Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the fortifications are necessary to protect federal agents from retaliation, following what she called escalating threats. Federal officials have defended the shooting of Renee Good, claiming she used her vehicle as a weapon, a claim strongly disputed by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who has warned the public against what he calls political propaganda. The FBI has now taken over the investigation, cutting off state access to key materials. Protesters say they are fighting injustice. Federal authorities say they are restoring order. And as tear gas lingers in the air, one question hangs over the city. How close is America to the edge when protests turn into battle lines?
And we're here to announce a lawsuit we're filing against the United States Department of Homeland Security to end the unlawful, unprecedented surge of the federal law enforcement agents into Minnesota. Because this has to stop. We ask the courts to end the DHS unlawful behavior in our state, the intimidation, the threats, the violence. We ask the courts to end the tactics on our places of worship, our schools, our courts, our marketplaces, our hospitals, and even funeral homes. The Constitution gives Minnesota the sovereign authority to protect health and well-being of every single person who lives on our borders. The Constitution gives us the right to vote for who we want, pray however we want, and be whoever we want, without fear of being racially profiled, assaulted, or killed in our own communities. We're going to defend those rights because as much as they like to believe it, DHS is not above the law, and the people of Minnesota are certainly not beneath it. The deployment of thousands of armed, mass DHS agents to Minnesota has done our state serious harm. This is, in essence, a federal invasion of the Twin Cities and Minnesota, and it must stop. And I wish I could stop there, but I can't, because these poorly trained, aggressive, and armed agents of the federal state have terrorized Minnesota with widespread unlawful conduct.
These are not normal times. And so the response that we are asking for from the judicial system and from the courts requires that we file suit at this particular moment. What we are seeing right now is not normal immigration enforcement. We are not asking ICE not to do ICE things. We are asking this federal government to stop the unconstitutional conduct that is invading our streets each and every day. If the goal was immigration enforcement, if the goal were simply to look for people that are undocumented, Minneapolis and St. Paul would not be the place where you would go. There are countless more people that are undocumented in Florida and Texas and Utah. Why are they in these much smaller cities in the middle of the Midwest? The answer is very clear. It is politics. Florida and Texas and Utah are Republican states. The reason that Minnesota and Minneapolis are being targeted is because you've got a Democratic governor, a Democratic attorney general, and you got Democratic mayors.